Jay, did we sway you at all?
No.
No. You did not. I got you. My Krombu Weebs. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 137 of AniPro. And on this week's episode, we've all got friends who don't watch anime. Unfortunately, and we want them to watch anime. So what anime do we recommend to them? We will get to the bottom of this. The ultimate gateway anime will be revealed on this week's episode of AniPro.
Yeah, and we're gonna make them fight, right? Like we're gonna take our anime and like create caricatures of them, like little bionicles, and they're gonna be like smash each other, right?
We're gonna make them kiss.
We're gonna make them kiss and smash, and then like bionicles, we'll take them all apart.
Yeah, and
then put them back together to make like one big bionicle. Remember that about bionicles? People forget about that. You could fuse them together.
Mega bionicle, yeah.
Yeah, megonicle.
What else are we doing this episode, Cole?
We're also going to discuss Anime Expo 2024. We felt it was appropriate, seeing as we were just at Ai-kon. Thank you to everybody for coming to say hello to us, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So Anime Expo took place a couple weeks ago. We wanted to maybe discuss some of the reveals, announcements, some of the millions of posters that they reveal, because that's apparently a thing. Poster reveals.
Yeah, why do we have we don't need a whole article about a poster reveal.
Yeah, it's a little.
It feels a little indulgent at that point.
A little bit. So we've got an article here. It's from comicbook.com. We're going to run through it, discuss some of the more notable announcements that were made. Yeah, so it should be very much fun. What's happening, my boys? How are we doing today? It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. Jay, it's the middle of the night for Jay.
That's right.
How are you doing, Michael? How is life?
Life is very nice. It's like actually summertime here, so I'm kind of just enjoying like the nice weather as Shazana nears closer and closer to the imminent due date at the end of this month.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe by the time you're listening to this, it'll be...
Maybe.
You never know, man. We're in the range. We're in the range when you listen to this. We're in the strike zone, the fire zone.
Yeah.
The detonation zone.
Imminent.
The blast zone?
Yeah.
The splash zone.
Splash zone. Splash zone. That's funny because actually someone told me a story about like...
Oh, no.
When the water broke, it was like a wave and actually splashed the doctor.
Oh my God.
It's kind of like, how do you recover from that? Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound great.
Yeah, that's... That's horrible.
Anyway, changing topics from that. It's nice out. I enjoy being outside when it's nice out, which you can see. I'm a little red. I got sunburnt this last weekend here because it was...
Not usually this burnt.
Not usually this burnt. No, I see a couple episodes for the context on that one. But yeah, I don't know. Just going on lots of walks. Going with my dog. He loves it. It's just like, it's fantastic right now. It's good times.
Yeah. Good times.
What's up
here.
with Cole or Jay? Whoever's most present in this moment.
Yeah, Cole.
Okay. I'm not here. I'm not ready for this.
He's still, for context, we're in like Jay's, like normally he wouldn't wake up for a couple hours probably.
Yeah.
So
this is the middle of the night for Jay. So
we'll ease him into this. This is an early morning for him.
I will say, full disclosure, peek behind the kimono, et cetera, all of those things. We're recording early. So in my real life time here, I'm still planning Ai-kon.
Right.
So it's a bit stressful right now. Just getting a million emails a day, trying to
crunch time,
keep on top of it. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a stressful time, but
I get that.
Ai-kon is so much fun, so it's worth it. All of it is worth it. I'm
Hard work often is worth it in the end. Yeah.
And I mean, cons are just fun, you know, like just being at it, seeing people. Yeah, it's just good vibes all around. So I'm looking forward, had fun. Looking forward to have had fun.
Thank you for coming to see us, and also we're looking forward to for you to come see us at the same time, simultaneously. Yeah.
We already know that we're thankful. We already know. Yeah. I don't need to be a time traveler to know that we appreciate people saying hi.
Nobody was stupidly rude or anything. Everyone was so nice.
I'm sure one person was. There's always one. It's just like, hello.
Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Yeah.
In front of you. Yeah.
It happens.
It happens everywhere you go.
Yeah. Jay, are you present?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about Bayonetta then. I've been playing Bayonetta, guys. I've started a new game after Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. How's Bayonetta going? Yeah.
It's not what I expected, kind of, but it is also simultaneously what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make games like that really anymore, where it's just like you're basically on a path and you just slash your way through the path. It's fun.
Yes and no. Mike, I would suggest playing Stellar Blade.
Okay.
Or Nier, to be honest. Like, they're pretty similar.
Nier was on my next to playlist, so maybe that'll be the next one I go into.
Or if you like this, Devil May Cry is also there, and that's good.
Is that kind of a similar thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of like it's thoughtless, but also like you kind of have to put a bit of thought into it at the same time.
Yeah.
Just a good hack and slash.
Yeah, hack and slash, but like if you want to like pay attention to the combos and strategy, you can, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could lend you any of those games that I suggested. Not Devil May Cry. I've actually never played Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry for some reason just always been like not super accessible to me somehow. I don't know what it is. Like I don't think I've ever seen a Devil May Cry game in person.
It's accessible. I just have never really like seeked it out.
Do you have to start with number one? I don't even know. People are screaming. Listeners are screaming right now.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Start with number one. Ignore the reboot from Ninja Theory because that one's not fun.
Mm.
Okay.
And then play 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Skip
1 through
Ninja
5.
Theory.
Skip DMC.
DMC. Oh yeah, I don't like that.
They just called it DMC.
They called it DMC.
Boo! Boo this man.
Yeah, that's kind of weak. That's kind of weak sauce.
Yeah.
You know what's not weak though?
What's that?
The thoughts that Jay's had time to formulate.
I was hoping we'd skip me because I don't have anything. This upcoming week I'm on holidays for the week, so like I'm just kind of
that's hype.
Just kind of chilling.
What are the plans? What's a Jay Garritian holiday look like?
Lots of reading.
That's pretty much exactly what I pictured it. So
yeah, I mean, like you saw how many books I have when you saw my room.
That's right.
I need to get through those.
It's literally like a meter of books.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm not exaggerating.
That's the struggle with books is that they're so nice to buy, but reading them,
no, it's stupid.
No, it's fun.
Yeah. See, here's the thing though. What I've learned is our local library in the city we live in is actually like really quite nice. And they have like quite a catalog. And here's the thing. There's a deadline that you need to return it by. So you must read it by that date, which I find really helps me like get motivated to read it. So I'm like, crap, I have to bring this back like in a couple of days. Just read it.
Or you can do what I've done in the past and not read them and then just be like, oh yeah, the due date's coming up. Guess I'll return them.
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
I've done that. I was going to be like, you know what? I'm going to read some Kurt Vonnegut. I'm going to be like a well-read person. So I went and got like Slaughterhouse 5 or whatever it's called. Just never even opened it. It's free, right? So like, it's not like you're wasting money.
No.
You're just wasting time, I guess, kind of. But really,
not
the only
really.
time is going to pick up the library. Or going
for
to
it in your
pick up
taxes and stuff, right? So it's,
yeah. So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. I know what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, I'm a bad I'm a bad man.
You're also someone who kind of enjoys like the rush of the purchase too.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing about library. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, like, that takes away some of the joy of the library for you, because
acquiring things, like acquiring it and holding it, even if it's for a limited amount of time,
that's where the joy lies.
Sometimes is enough to scratch the itch.
If only like there was a combination of like a library and a store, like it was always free, right? Like a library, but you got to keep it indefinitely.
Like a library.
I mean, if you just don't return your books, I mean that is essentially the same thing.
Yeah, but like that's against the rules.
That is true. I mean, technically, our local library has no late fees as well, for what it's worth. So like, just at a certain point, they just decide you're not returning it, but you could always just return it at that point.
Yeah, return a different book. Just like
they wouldn't know.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. They're like, this is a book.
Books are all the same. There's pages.
They're all the same. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, let us begin this ordeal.
It begins.
Let's start talking about some of these announcements that were made over at Anime Expo 2024. We'll kind of run through like them in sequential order from the first day. So one that I wanted to point out here was that the Trigun Stampede sequel has been revealed. We've got a name for it. We got a new logo. It's called Trigun Stargaze, and I like this name, and I'm sure everybody else hates it because they've ruined Trigun.
I'm just curious. I'm so curious, like where it's gonna go from here, because we were all pretty high on the original Trigun, I feel, but it sort of ended at a point that I felt was like kind of a natural ending. So I'm curious.
Now, when you say original Trigun, you mean Trigun Stampede, right?
Sorry, Trigun Stampede. Yes,
yeah.
I've never watched the original, like the '90s one. Yeah, or is it 2000? I don't know, but.
Yeah, no, it felt like it felt like an organic ending, and maybe they did that just because they thought, the sequel isn't guaranteed. We need to come up with like a fine ending in case we don't get a sequel approved. So that's I think they write that way on purpose, but I'm happy that they're going to be able to finish the story.
Yeah, for sure. And I personally, we were talking about this off air a little bit when we were doing our warm up, was like, I honestly always believed that Trigun was like a 50 episode classic 90s, early 2000s anime where like it just like runs for a long time. Apparently not the case. Like it was just originally here's 26 episodes. Have at it. So this will clean it up a little bit, but like it was kind of before its time. Apparently, I kind of need to watch the original. I'm curious now.
It also seems like this one's going to be more faithful to the original. Like Vash has his
the manga. You mean
classic hair?
Oh, are they going back to his?
Yeah.
Like not away from
like
his e-boy
exactly
hair?
The same, but like more faithful to the original Trigun
okay.
Original Trigun.
I didn't see any art or anything from it, so you have to send that to me because I'm curious now.
Yeah,
well,
I kind of liked E-Boy Vosh.
When the series ended, remember his hair went all Super Saiyan. Remember at the end of the.
Oh,
so makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah,
you just got to have a good battle, and then you go Super Saiyan for the rest of the series. I guess is the secret.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to this one. I know another one that we're looking forward to here, gentlemen, and maybe specifically Jay, because Jay was the one who was like, we must discuss this. Witch Hat Atelier. We had a trailer for that one released, and along with a poster, one of many, many, many posters that were revealed at Anime Expo.
The poster's a little bit inconsequential, but the trailer released. And man, that trailer looks really good. Bug Films is doing it. The studio that's famously known for Zom 100. And a lot of people are worried about it online.
Yeah, I saw lots of comments like, "Do you think they'll actually be able to finish this one on time this time?" I'm like, I think they probably learned from their mistake.
I think that, and also it's probably a different crew than the one that worked on Zom 100.
Possible. Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's probably not going to be the same issue. But
shouldn't be.
Regardless, the trailer looks fantastic.
Yes.
Between this and Freeren, we are eating good for classic fantasy stories.
Mm-hmm. And if you're curious what Witch Hat Atelier is all about, we're going to be reviewing the manga in a couple weeks too. So stay tuned for that. Check that manga out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And cool thing too, I know a lot of people like Elden Ring, and they locked in the Elden Ring composer for this series too. I feel like that's pretty cool. We're on the same. It's almost like we've done this for like 1,000 hours at this point before we've talked to each other about anime. Mm-hmm. We're locked in.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like the Elden Ring music is always like peak. So if
she does all the like From Software Soulsborne music, so like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it really helps with the vibes here, which is good. I don't know much about Witch Hat Atelier
yet.
When Mike was describing it, yet. That's true. We will read the manga, and I'm sure that I'll watch this. Is this like a dark fantasy? Like,
It's... Jay, have you read it at all? I don't actually know.
I read chapter 1.
Okay. It's pretty lighthearted. It's clearly like a shonen, like coming of age type story. But there definitely is like a running theme of like darkness through it for sure.
Okay.
Like it's like this very like happy young girl in a very like dark... It seems happy on the surface, but there's definitely like dark undercurrents all the time.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is because the composer from Elden Ring, and the FromSoft, like there's usually the music isn't very happy.
Yeah. There's a lot of I would say I could see it working pretty well with it's more epic fantasy with like a slice of life touch, I would say. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of epic fantasy, did you guys hear the news? Lord of the Rings is getting an anime.
That's sweet. An anime movie.
Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim drops new stills is the headline. So there's essentially screenshots from the series now, and it looks pretty clean. Of course, we can't gauge too much from stills, obviously, but it looks pretty all right. We still have to wait to see stuff in motion, but I'm looking forward to that. I remember when it was announced, I was a little hesitant, but everything I've seen so far has been fine.
It's trending in the right way, I'd say.
Yeah. Nothing to me has been like, no, this is gonna be bad.
My biggest nerve is that a lot of the time anime adaptations of Western properties don't really go over that well.
Yeah.
So
interestingly, with this one, I'm excited because it's a female protagonist too. And it sounds like from what they kind of released a bit of a description about what it's actually going to be about, and it sounds like it's going to be about, like, you guys know Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings. I know Cole does. I don't know if James does, or James. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, it's about Helm, like the actual king of Rohan. I don't know where I came up with James. I work with a James.
I'm kind of where you got it.
Curious why Cole is laughing so hard.
And it's so ridiculous to picture you as James Garridian.
Well, no, it was just like from nowhere. Just James. I don't know. I've called Jay
all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Some of that are inexcusable, honestly. But like, it's covering the actual Helm himself, Helm Hammerhand, apparently. And I guess he will find out how deep he truly is.
Yeah, he will go deep.
Yeah.
Someone will go deep into Helm. Helm's Deep. Get it?
No.
Not really.
I don't know. There's some things here that I question.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about them too much, but like, I just find it funny. So we've got Plus Size Elf shares new trailer. That comes out next season.
That's out this season.
That's like out now. Yeah.
Oh, that's this season. Oh, that's even more ridiculous because the next one I thought was goofy because it's Tower of God season 2 premiere sneak peek. It literally is on like episode 2 at this point. It's out. What's sneak peek? Anyway, Panty and Stocking shares a new poster. Panty and Stocking, it's coming back, baby. Studio Trigger. Who else would do it? Who else but Studio Trigger would do Panty and Stocking?
Yeah. The staff that migrated from Gainax. We're going to be reviewing that one too, so check the original out.
How topical.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, brand new trailer. Again, why?
The first 3 episodes are out already. I think even 4 episodes, yeah.
Blue Exorcist season 4 trailer. I haven't seen Blue Exorcist, so I don't even know. I think Jay, you've seen it, right?
I have.
Is this hype? Are we hyped for this?
We already knew about season 4 before this, so like, it's just kind of like, hey, you want to see more Blue Exorcist? Here it is. I kind of fell off because a lot of Blue Exorcist is dialogue, and it kind of doesn't really translate well from manga.
Okay.
You know what does translate? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, so not super high on this one.
I'm not, but I know that there are people out there that are.
I feel like season 3 let a lot of people down, though, from what I kind of just the reactions I saw online. Again, as someone who really doesn't know much about it, so hopefully this does better.
This next one, though, I think Jay, when I watched the trailer for this one, it's Ubel Blatt. I thought, hey, this looks like a show Jay would enjoy. Do you know anything about this one? Apparently, it's a pretty long running manga.
It's a classic manga. They just announced, Yen Press just announced that they're doing omnibuses of this, which like their original release of it, was like super hard to find, so I'm excited for that.
Okay.
The anime itself, just like, I don't know, something about it looked a bit off from the trailer, but still excited to watch the show eventually.
Yeah,
it looks
like
elf in it, Jay. I mean, it's the wrong gender for your proclivities, but it's still an elf.
It I don't know. It looks like your classic like shonen dark fantasy. Type deal. Yeah. Solo Leveling season 2 debuts new trailer. I wasn't big on Solo Leveling. Are you guys hyped for this one?
I would say so.
Did you watch the trailers?
Yeah, I think I'm personally whelmed. There's another webtoon that we'll get to that I'm more excited for.
Oh, okay. We're getting excited.
I think the good thing about Solo Leveling, I feel like we all knew it was coming, but it's just always nice to get like confirmation. And like I didn't make it as far as this in the manhwa, so I'm kind of curious to see. I think it goes into like the Jeju Island stuff, and I think that's kind of, people say, is like a great part of the Solo Leveling experience. So Jay may or not be able to confirm. I don't know, as the guy who reads everything.
I've only read the novel.
Okay.
So I can't really comment on the manhwa.
Sorry, I just opened up another tab from comicbook.com. Your pop-ups are ridiculous. I opened up a new ad and it just started playing a video.
Yeah, I know it. I've been like following along through the article too, and it keeps like auto playing these like ads. I hate it. Don't autoplay videos. Don't autoplay videos.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We don't like it. This one I'm happy about because Rooster Teeth shut down. We all know that. Rooster Teeth, famous for creating Ruby, among other things. Ruby has been acquired by Viz Media, and they are making new content. So that's good. That's good. I know people were very upset that Rooster Teeth had shut down, that there would not be any more Ruby, but it's coming back, baby.
That makes sense.
It's such a huge property.
Viz had the manga too, so I mean, like, them acquiring just Ruby in general makes total sense to me.
Oh, and like just from a business standpoint too, it's like somebody had to pick this one up.
Yeah,
like somebody had to get the rights for it because you're not going to not continue to produce this beloved show just because the studio shut down. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when they just like before the studio shut down did like an anime adaptation of it too. which I don't remember. Was it sponsored by Crunchyroll? I don't know if it was one of like the Crunchyroll originals, quote unquote.
I don't think it was.
I don't think so. I know Shaft did it, but
it was Studio Shaft, though.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool, if you ask me. Did you guys watch the Blue Lock Season 2 trailer?
I did. It looks like more Blue Lock, to be honest with you, which sounds not hype, but it's still I'm excited for it, but it looks exactly like I expected it to. Yeah. So
it's just kind of more of the same thing. And I mean, like if
which is a good thing in my opinion.
A lot of people are excited for Blue Lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
The same guy that I was talking about the other week that I work with that didn't like was stunned by the succubus in Konosuba. Loves Blue Lock. It was like his gateway to manga. He like watched the first season and then continued to read all of Blue Lock. So yeah,
good.
People are excited for this one.
Batman Ninja versus Yakuza reveals poster, which is pretty cool actually. Like the poster kind of. I've never watched any of the Batman Ninja or read any of it or taken any of it in, but like the idea behind it is cool, like putting superheroes in kind of that
feudal Japan,
ancient feudal Japan. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see.
It seems like DC's kind of like trying out the anime route. It doesn't look great though. Like it's like this weird, awkward CG from watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a huge fan of.
From what I've seen of like the original Batman Ninja, didn't really receive too well.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a thing, to be honest, before this. So interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. The thing that I found interesting was like if you go to the Isekai Suicide Squad page on Mal or AniList, it's connected to Batman Ninja.
Is it because they're in the same universe?
That's what I'm thinking, but like I haven't seen Suicide Squad Isekai, so
yeah, I have not either yet.
Well, let's keep moving along. I think that'd be pretty much it for day 2 here. Let's see.
Beastars final season's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to like. The manga is already out, so like I get like I'm excited for it. Obviously, I love my Studio Orange, so I'm not a furry though. I just want to make that clear.
I don't know why you didn't bring that up. What does that have to do with this?
Yeah, that's not why I'm excited.
Cool? Yeah,
I'm excited because it's a good anime. Again, not a furry, and it's from one of my favorite studios. Again, just to reiterate, not a furry. But yeah, Beastars final season that's coming out, so I'm pretty hyped for that.
Yeah, have you read the manga for it?
No, actually, no? I'm raw dogging this one. No pun intended. Nice. Yeah,
I'm curious if who's gonna handle her next, like her new work. What's it called? Sanda.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, I know nothing about it. So
I'm curious if Orange is gonna do it.
Oh, I did just click on her Twitter and she just posted a lovely, she's eating a lovely Vietnamese looking pho with some spring rolls and a nice tall glass of Heineken.
Ooh.
Oh, Lordy, that looks good.
Oh.
Also, Beastars final season looks good too.
Yeah.
Bringing it back
much like the pho she's eating. Beastars final season looks pretty good. This Delicious and Dungeon box set announced. We can obtain it in physical media. Well, you still can. Mike, are you getting this?
Honestly, maybe. I really enjoyed Delicious and Dungeon. And it got announced for a season 2 as well. Honestly, but the most exciting part of this, other than I might be able to get all the manga in one box set, which is always appealing to me because it's cheaper. I'm a cheap man. It confirmed. I didn't realize that the manga was completed, to be honest with you. So
I didn't know that.
It's hype for me in that way because I find that when they do anime adaptations of things that are complete, they generally turn out better. Because they kind of know where it's going to go and like the entire vision for the length of it.
Yeah.
So the tangential realization that, okay, that's actually kind of cool is like, this is going to be like probably 3 seasons total. And we're good. I like it. And it's Trigger's first like foray into like adapting like a completed manga as far as I can tell too. So
yeah, and they're doing a good job so far. So
yeah,
that should be good. Now this one's Latin to me. Haikyuu's time skip is being animated. What does that mean? Tell me, Jay.
So
what does that mean?
The post time skip of Haikyuu is kind of like the final arc of the manga. So just means like they're animating the final arc.
Okay.
Because like the dumpster battle or whatever the movie that just came out, that's like the big finale, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, and then this is just like a kind of postscript type stuff.
Yeah, it kind of leads into like a big finale, because there's like one thing that Hinata hasn't done yet, and that's that might be evident to some people who have seen or read Haikyuu.
I've only watched the first 3 seasons, so no, not me.
Not me.
Is it? I'm just curious now. Like, is it like one of them like let's get the gang back together for one more game type thing?
No.
I was gonna say that'd be kind of cheesy.
It kind of bookends the way it starts.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Now, if you know about this one I saw.
I'm excited for this.
It blew me away. Ninja Scroll is returning to theaters for its 30th anniversary. This was something I was unfamiliar with, and Mike and I randomly watched it, and I thought, okay, this is just some corny 90s anime movie.
I knew it was infamous when I downloaded and put it on for you.
It's just I wasn't expecting there to be a 30th anniversary re-release of this movie.
I love it. I might go see this. Unironically, I think it'd be a lot of fun in theaters.
I would definitely go see this. It was an absolute
cinema.
Oh, it's just a classic 90s gore fest anime. Like, it was just so over the top and ridiculous.
Yes.
I had a coworker who like does not watch anime come up to me and he's like, have you seen Ninja Scroll? And I'm like, what? How do you know about Ninja Scroll?
How do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Have you seen Ninja Scroll, Jay?
No.
Oh, well, I guess we're dragging you with us.
You're coming in the theater.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good
I believe
movie.
it. It's on High Dive too, I think, if you want to go watch it as well.
Yeah, it's wow. I saw
definitely
this.
Don't watch it with your young children though.
No,
certainly not.
No, or your parents for that matter. Or your
parents, or really just watch this in like a dark corner of your basement alone.
This is good. Exactly how Mike and I watched it, like sitting with some friends, having a few pops.
Yeah,
and just having a good time.
I'll watch it like how I watched Oppenheimer with my dad and stepmom.
Again, Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer. Oh, that's an awkward movie to watch with your parents too.
Specifically, one scene, I'd say.
A couple scenes. Yeah,
couple scenes there. Yeah.
Apothecary Diaries Season 2 lands its release window, so it's coming out in 2025. I mean, we all kind of saw that one coming, but nice to be confirmed, and I'm looking forward to that one. As are you, Michael?
Absolutely. I realized like after the season that Apothecary Diaries came out that like in my mind it's an all-timer. Like it really is one of the anime that I would like recommend to people.
It is definitely one of the animes.
It's in the pantheon. I couldn't think of a good way to say that.
It's one of the shows of all time for sure.
It exists, definitely. Unquestionably.
But it was weird that it didn't finish with season 2 announcement, I thought.
Yeah, it was strange considering they went 2 core. Like you'd figure like at some point they would have confirmed that there'd be a season 2 midway through that production schedule, but whatever, they didn't, and
now they have.
That's fine. Now they have,
They just wanted something to announce at Anime Expo, apparently, is the real answer here.
Yeah. Now, I think this was the one Jay was alluding to earlier.
Yes.
Okay, so Omniscient. Thank you. Omniscient reader anime announced. That's a tough word, okay? Omniscient? That's how omniscient is spelled?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gifted in other ways.
I think you're probably technically supposed to say omniscient.
That it still doesn't make sense to me.
Mike, you're technically right, and I guess that's the best kind of right.
It's the worst kind of right. I hate that I'm technically right. But if you omniscient.
Omniscient reader, anime announced. Jay, why are you so excited for this one?
So this is a beloved webtoon, beloved manhwa. A lot of people love it. And I had to check it out because I was like, okay, what's all the hype about? You know, you have those moments and you go. Yep. And this story was very, very different from what I expected it to be. It starts out very similar. Like it starts out how you'd expect, but then like as the story goes on, as you get to learn more about who the protagonist is, who the main character is, and I mean two different people, it starts like the story starts revealing itself.
Okay.
And it's not what you'd expect.
It does have a quick synopsis here if you want me to just explain to you, Cole. That
yes, please.
Dokja is the name. Was Kim an average Dokja. Office. Kim Dokja was an office worker whose sole interest was reading his favorite web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse.
Okay.
But when the novel suddenly becomes reality, he's the only person who knows how the world will end. Armed with his realization, Dokja uses his understanding to change the course of the story and the world as he knows it. I would have just used that information to win the lottery or something or buy Apple stocks, but he decides to save the world.
He's like Page Master.
So,
remember that movie, Page Master from the 90s?
No.
Macaulay Culkin?
No.
The best way to explain this story is it's a meta story. Like a story about stories about readers, about fans,
about stories.
And
it's definitely beloved.
Yeah.
Like, I knew this one was a lot of hype when they announced this, especially because like the trailer doesn't really show a heck of a lot.
No. Either. We don't even know like what studio's doing it. I had heard a rumor that it's Ufotable. And I mean like you hear those rumors all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was curious because I was like,
One Punch Man season 3.
I could see Ufotable doing this show. Especially because Aniplex has it. Ufotable is associated with Aniplex. Could be that.
It's not impossible at this point.
It's not impossible.
No.
I'd say like
the stars are aligning.
Yeah. I'd say like a 10% chance.
I wouldn't even say the stars are aligning. The stars are in the sky.
It's nighttime.
It's nighttime. There's stars out. Yeah. They might align.
Well, Ufotable still got to do that Genshin anime, so we'll see if they got time for this one.
If this follows the trend that like Witch Hat Atelier followed, we're gonna get a trailer for this in like a year's time. So,
Fire Force season 3 announced for next year. Mike, are you still on the Fire Force train?
I fell off the Fire Force train just because I don't know. It didn't do. It just kind of meandered a little bit, and it looks incredible, but it just needed to do a little more. I might give it season 2 another shot, just to check out season 3, but I almost feel like I probably won't at the same time. Yeah.
Unfortunate. I hope it does well regardless.
Me too. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So here we go. More posters, Code Geass,
we don't need to cover Code Geass Rose of the Recapture Part 4 poster reveal. Hey,
it's news. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Danmachi season 5 new poster. Black Butler season 5 new trailer. Did either of you watch this trailer?
No,
I haven't seen the first 4 seasons of Black Butler.
Yeah. And that's honestly on me. I think that's on us because like it's clearly a beloved property.
Yeah,
like, it's just not something I've watched.
Yeah, we're not the target audience for it.
This isn't the Black Butler podcast.
It's apparently called because there's 2 things here. There's Black Butler season 5, and then there's Black Butler Emerald Witch arc. I'm assuming that's the same thing.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah,
and it's announced for 2025, so next year. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Jay, what's Dead Rock, and why is it significant that it lands its English licensing? You're the only one that I expect to know what any of that means.
I know.
So if you're a fan of Fairy Tail, It's another manga by the creator of Fairy Tail.
Didn't he do, what was the other one?
Eden Zero.
Didn't he just, he just did, and let me guess, all the characters look exactly the same?
Yep.
Judging by the cover, yes.
There's I've heard like a fan theory that all of Hiramashima's manga are like plays that these people are putting on.
Oh.
So like that's why they all look the same, because like they're the same actors.
That's clever, if that's true.
That's a good way to like cope with the fact that all his characters look the same.
Yeah. Uzumaki anime English voice cast announced, synopsis revealed. No way, it's a manga. I think we knew the synopsis of it.
I'd hate to tell you, but they revealed the synopsis for this like years ago when the manga was released.
Yeah. It was revealed to me when I read the manga.
Yeah.
This anime has been like, is it ever coming out?
I think Junji Ito said like episode 1 is done.
It's a 4-episode miniseries, isn't it?
They're taking a long time.
Yeah.
This one was announced years ago. But hopefully it does better than the previous Junji Ito adaptations.
Hopefully.
They've been pretty.
Junji Ito's hard to nail in anime format.
Yeah. I don't know. They're kind of doing cool things with it though. They're keeping it black and white. They're kind of keeping the manga like art-ish.
I have hope for this one.
Yeah. Cautious.
Yeah.
Very cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
And then it says here again, stuff that we've already talked about. One Piece Egghead Arc English dub release date announced.
Yeah.
What is happening? What does that mean? Egghead?
So
like from Sonic?
It's the arc that happens after Wano, is the Egghead Island arc. And the cool thing here is that they've announced. So I've been watching the One Piece dub, and it's about 2 cores behind the sub at this point. And it looks like it plans to continue that based on this, because it's going to come out on Crunchyroll on September 17th. By the time you're listening to this, the episodes prior to this one will be out on Crunchyroll as well. I think they come out middle of July. And honestly, just the cool part here is that it'll be the first time it says here in a long time, but I think probably ever, that the dub and sub will be in the same arc, which is kind of the cool tidbit from this, I would say.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So you're excited. You're a dub guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like the One Piece dub.
News.
Yeah.
Sonic fans can rejoice here. Sonic and Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings. Are any of us Sonic fans though?
I wouldn't say I'm not a fan, but I definitely wouldn't call myself a fan. I like Shadow though. I think he's actually he's pretty cool. I mean, he's got he's cool black and red. He's got cool shoes. He's kind of edgy.
Got a cool color palette. Yeah.
He's got a gun.
Guns.
He's got a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. I got really nothing to say about this one.
They're remaking a game. They're doing like a little anime to tie into it, is basically the gist.
Yeah.
Which had Atelier creator break silence on the anime? No way, you already announced that 2 days ago. Blue Box Anime shares a new poster. Yay, another poster. But
it's going to be on
Blue Box.
Yeah,
we're excited for Blue Box.
Yeah, the big thing here is that it's on Netflix. Yeah,
that's fine. Netflix is doing a better job with their releases now.
I think I'd prefer it being on Netflix than it being on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus wouldn't advertise it.
That's right.
Yeah, Disney Plus's advertisements are weird. There was a point, just allow me to go off on a tangent, if you will, where they were advertising during like hockey games. But it wasn't like, it was Disney anime on Disney Plus. Right. And it was just, it was very weird. It was like 2 worlds that I live in colliding.
It was like the other week when like HoloLive took over the Dodgers stadium.
That was wild.
It's just like, or like when One Piece took over the, I think, Chargers stadium. It's kind of just like, hey, this is the guy who gave me a wedgie in high school for liking One Piece. What are you doing? You're not supposed to like this.
I don't know. One Piece makes more sense than the HoloLive.
HoloLive was a little like extra surreal, I'd say. Yeah.
I was reading kind of horror stories about the whole HoloLive at the Dodgers game. Yeah, where the Dodgers were not prepared for the amount of HoloLive fans who showed up.
They underestimated the power of VTubers.
I guess they didn't realize that it was so popular.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
It'd be so cringy to go to, but I think it would be cool to like.
Oh, I don't
at the
think
same
at
time
all. I think that'd be so cool.
Something like that.
I think like if you go masquerading as a Dodgers fan, then it wouldn't be
I would
cringy.
never be a Dodgers fan. I'll never forgive them. If you know, you know.
I would go wearing a full Gargura cosplay.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would go wearing a full-on Pecora cosplay. That's what I would.
I'd just go to honor my Oshi, Hochimachi Suisei.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is. All I know is Gargura.
The third girl.
Who's the red one?
Marine?
Yeah,
Marina?
her. I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you only know that because of you're getting me kicking your ass at Weiss Schwartz with that card.
Is that why I know her?
Probably.
I'm not a VTuber guy.
It has a good climax combo.
There's a reason why that card's like a $40 card.
Yeah.
And I have 4 of them.
Whoa, you should sell them now that Weiss Schwartz is dead. What else has we got to talk about here?
What else do we have to talk about? The award for most ominous subtitle goes to My Hero Academia. You're next. Announces a U.S. release date. I haven't watched a My Hero Academia movie in a while. Not since that one where they go to that island, and then I realized, wait a second, these aren't even canon. Why am I watching these?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the My Hero Academia movies specifically because they're not canon.
It's almost canon breaking.
It's fan fiction. Yes, it's fan fiction.
I will say I don't want to like just brush over what Mike said. Yes, they are fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, you watch it and you're like, wait a second, this breaks every rule.
Yeah,
they kind of go a little like the last one I watched too was the one they go to the island. I forget what it's called. And yeah, it kind of goes like a little too far into like, no, this is kind of like breaking immersion a little bit because like this cannot happen.
You've broken your rules.
It's fan fiction.
Broken your rules. Yeah. Yeah. Mike and I saw that in the theaters. I remember, and we left and we're like, wait a second.
that can't happen.
Can't work.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Here we go. Here's one. Arifureta. Is that a thing? Do we know that thing?
Yes.
I don't know that thing.
It's a notoriously bad anime. I can't wait.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch it for like a really long time.
Well, it's getting season 3.
I know.
We did know about that. But it's coming, I think, next season, if I remember correctly.
It's season 2, isn't it?
Season 3.
No.
Oh no, yeah, right. Season 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with this property.
It's Cole. It's very bad.
What, like
You'll love
funny
it.
bad?
You'll love
like
it.
Funny bad?
Yes.
Okay.
I think people really like it from what I could tell. I don't know why Jay's saying it's really bad, actually.
No. It's bad for like all the good reasons.
Okay. You know what's not bad for all of the good reasons, but it's actually good for all of the good reasons?
What's that?
Everyone's favorite Sword Art Online property, Gale Online Season 2 trailer.
Let's go.
I didn't even know they're doing a Season 2 of Gale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they announced it a while back. The best Sword Art Online will return, apparently, which is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. That one's...
It's by the Kino's Journey author.
I mean, hey, I didn't know that, but now I'm less
didn't
hyped.
know that either.
But I didn't know that I could become less hyped.
I watched the trailer for this one, and it just looks like more Gale Online, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. I enjoyed the first season, and I'm looking forward to the second season. Now here's one of my favorite pieces of news.
I'm buying these,
and I am definitely I have. Okay, let me just read it.
Go on. Yeah, read it.
Mobile Suit Gundam shares first look at Croc collab. Gundam Crocs.
Yes.
Sign me up. I've never had a pair of Crocs before, but I think these might be my first.
I think they're going to be really hard to get because it does say here in the tweet, if you visit the Gundam base in what's the district it's in, Cole? You were there.
Diver City,
you'll have an exclusive
or
early
Yokohama?
opportunity. Yokohama. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You'll have an exclusive opportunity to pre-order our upcoming collaborative Gundam Crocs. And then there's the slogan for the Crocs is heroes aren't made, they're worn. Cole.
That
Check
sounds
out the
ominous.
Gundam gibbets on it too. The little like things that people stick in the holes of their Crocs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. They look.
The good thing about
cheesy,
Crocs
though.
is they're not like super expensive either. So
No.
it's not like some of the other shoes that I've purchased where I'm like, all right, I got to drop this couple $100 on these Naruto shoes that I'll never wear ever.
One of the comments here says adult size or colony drop.
Yes,
I agree.
Exactly. We want that. And
Yes.
I want different ones. Because what would you rather have? Would you rather have the the Gundam RX-78, or would you want like the Xeon Char?
Xeon for sure. The red ones, the Char ones would go hard. Except they did also leave out in this discussion here that they will be only in children's size.
Boo!
Yeah.
So colony
Actually,
drop
boo.
initiated.
Yeah,
There it is.
We're working
There it
on it.
is.
Yeah.
They've got to launch the colony first, and then we're dropping it right on Australia.
Well,
That's what
welcome
we're
to
doing.
my life where they release cool shoes, but I can't have any of them because my feet are just unnaturally big.
Jay
Yeah,
brags
that is
about
true.
the size of his feet for the billionth time on the pod. Let's see those
No.
things. Let's see those things now.
See those dogs.
Get the dogs out.
All shoes are children's shoes to you, Jay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And to round us off here, Bleach 1,000-Year War arc reveals poster.
A new poster.
And
No,
the
they
release
did
window
do it.
too. But
Yeah,
yes. We don't need two articles for those two different things either.
we missed
that's
we
one
missed
story.
one. The comic book window or comicbook.com didn't put the link click information, so I guess I'll put it here.
Interesting.
Winter 2024. It just says this winter, and a lot of people assume that means winter 2025, but the YouTube thing says fall 2024, so sometime
Who
there.
knows?
Well, the
The
thing
end of
is,
the year,
fall
quarter
2024 goes into January, so
Yeah. We'll say fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter of
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
See, they should have hired me to make the announcement. I would have made it very clear.
Yeah,
looks really good though. I'm pretty excited for it.
looks like just more link click, pretty much.
Yeah. It's I don't think it's a season 3. I think it's like a side arc though. I don't fully understand what it is.
I think so. Like, it's not. I don't think it's like a full third season. It's kind of just like a side continuation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting though. I'm definitely gonna watch it for sure whenever the hell it comes out.
I may watch it. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if I'm reminded.
I'll consider continuing it.
It sounds about right.
Continuing. That's all of the news stories or the announcements as of 1:14 p.m. on July 7th.
I think it's ended now, so
Is it over? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
There's
today's
all
the
of these
last day.
conventions in the States. Like I follow cosplayers and stuff on Instagram, and it seems like there's always some convention, and it's like, oh, this must be the big convention, and then it's not. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is. It continues today.
So there may be more, but just really quickly, let's dive in here.
Yep. It's time for the mailbag. So
Welcome to
loud.
the mailbag. This is mailbag. It's mailbag time. If you've got a mailbag question, you can send it over to us at our website, AniProPod.com/mailbag, or on our Discord. This is a submission from our website, actually. It comes from Cole needs to watch more good anime. Interesting. I don't know why I'm being called out specifically when I have the best taste in anime.
It lets you like put in a completely anonymous name on the website. I like that people are they're using that feature, I would say.
They're using it to their advantage.
Yes.
Someone's moving their cursor around and I can't read the question. There we go. With My Hero Academia, with My Hero Academia's anime coming to an end soon, what do you think was the formula that made it so popular? So what made My Hero Academia so popular in our opinions? Jay, what do you think? What made this resonate with the people?
I think a lot of it has to do with a cool, unique, or a cool, diverse power system. B, a protagonist that people want to root for.
Yeah.
And C, a cool villain for him to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
I would also add that when it came out, the Marvel hype was in full swing with like Endgame and stuff happening at that time, and like the Avengers movies going crazy, and it just seemed like it came out at the right time with the right concept and like the right bunch of characters, and it kind of, honestly, I think anime's popularity nowadays has a little bit of My Hero Academia to thank, because the first 2 seasons are genuinely like incredible battle shonen, I would say.
Yeah. I would
Very
say
accessible.
you're both. I would say you're both right. In fact, those probably would have been pretty close to my answers. It took advantage of the time. Like timing, I think, is a huge thing with this.
Yeah.
Superheroes were big at the time, and it took off. Also, it made it easier to have characters that you could root for and against. I think, though, what I will add to that is, just as an argument for timing being such a big thing for My Hero Academia, superhero fatigue now has fully set in. Nobody really cares about superheroes. And My Hero Academia is kind of universally being dropped by a lot of people. Lots of people are saying, it's lost its luster. It's still popular. I'm not going to say that it's not, but there's no doubt that it was more popular during the end of that Marvel hype.
For sure. And it was also just like, I feel like the story was a little tighter. People drop off at, like, if you look at any anime, a lot of people will watch season 1, but like weebs have really short attention spans. So like they might stick around for season 2, but then like it drops off precipitously when you get to like season 3 and beyond. And we're in season 7, I think, of My Hero Academia now.
Yeah.
So that it kind of makes sense that it's, especially when it's like, it's a show that's targets such a young audience too.
Mm-hmm. I think I will give props to My Hero Academia. They are pumping these seasons out pretty quickly, to be honest. Like, they're already on season 7, and has it been 7 years of I don't think it has been. I think
it's been
doubling up of.
It's been more than
8
has
years. It's been 8 years.
It's been 8 years.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems like every second season is like another season of My Hero Academia recently. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Yeah, they're really pumping this out pretty consistently. Like they're probably realizing that the longer this goes on, the less people are watching it. But yeah, I think it's a good shonen manga, and it came out at the right time. I think that's why it was popular. Yeah. And the name that you submitted is unacceptable. I will delete it. But yeah,
I like it. Keep sending it in.
keep sending in mailbags to our website with those weird names, because it's really funny when Cole reads them.
Yes,
it is.
I'm looking forward to reading the other one we got from the website as well.
Yes. Well, what do you guys say we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and reveal the number 1 best, greatest, perfect gateway anime of all time.
Yes.
Of all time, for sure.
Yeah, let's take a
break.
There it is. Gentlemen, welcome back. Nice of you to join me here on AniPro.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome for my presence.
Thank you. Your presence is a present. and I appreciate it. And thank you to the listeners for coming back as well. We appreciate you returning after that long break.
You made it through Cole's music that he selected.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a feat in itself.
You enjoyed the music I selected, right?
Right.
Tell me more about the music and how good it is. We are doing a tournament. We haven't done a tournament in a long time. So
it's been a hot minute.
In a hot minute.
It's been 84 years gif.
Here. Mike, put it here.
Nope. I'm editing this one during Ai-kon, so I'm definitely not putting extra effort into this one. I can tell you that.
That's a good sign. I'm not trying on this one.
I'm phoning it in.
Yeah, probably on this one.
Well, gentlemen, we have each selected 5 shows. We've each nominated 5 shows that we think are good gateway anime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to do this is to just spin our wheel here, spin the wheel, draw from the hat, and we'll kind of go through the shows as they pop up. I think that's the way to do it. Keep the people guessing in suspense. Okay. So without further ado, I have a wheel here. I'm going to spin it, whirl it, a whirling dervish of anime. The first anime that we will throw into the ring is One Punch Man, nominated by yours truly, Cole, AniPro Cole. And it will be going up against Monster, an interesting nomination from Jay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and did we discuss, like, I know we kind of teased it in the first half, but maybe listeners have forgotten, like, what the goal we're trying to accomplish here is?
No, I did not. I'm sorry. I'm learning.
He's still waking up.
One day.
It's the middle of the night for Cole.
I did mention these are gateway anime that we've nominated. Yes. We're gonna do a tournament to see what the best gateway anime is. So we'll whittle this list of 15 down to 1, and that will be the ultimate gateway anime. So, like I said, the first matchup here is One Punch Man versus Monster. Now, I am curious, Jay, why Monster? I think that was the one that caught me most off guard.
So I kind of mentioned this last week when I talked about Monster, but Monster doesn't feel like an anime. I feel like it's something that could be enjoyed if it were just like a regular live action show.
Right.
And for someone trying to get into the medium that is anime, I think that like if you are able to dip your toes in with something like that, and then like kind of like jump into the pool after, with something else, then I think you'd be able to transition better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you've hit on something where, like, realistically, if you're going to make a recommendation to somebody, you need to know your audience. And if, say, your audience is like an older gentleman in this case, say like a dad, I think Monster would be probably a good pick for a gateway anime, just because it just feels... I feel like if you... The issue I have with this is that I don't think if I recommended this to my 13-year-old cousin, I don't know that they're going to be enjoying Monster. It's a bit heady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a little bit more of like a hurdle, like a barrier to entry with Monster as compared to, say, One Punch Man, where I think the appeal is a bit more universal with One Punch Man. Like, you can suggest it to like a 13-year-old, or frankly, you could suggest it to an adult, and there's a chance that either one would like it equally. Where Monster, I think like a younger audience would get bored. Where
that's kind of what I think too.
Where an elderly gentleman like me and Mike and Jay are enthralled by the mystery. So that's probably where I would come down on it.
I think Monster's better as a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
But I know the average person who's going to be, if I'm 30 and I'm just getting into anime, I'm in the minority. Most people are already hooked by the time they're at my point.
My counter to that is like, I feel like for the three of us, most of the time, if we're recommending anime to people, we're probably recommending anime to people around our age.
That's true.
Yeah, you bring up a point. Yeah.
I would agree with that. It's just in this case, like, the way where I'm coming at it from is kind of that like universal appeal. Like, if
I don't know, like, I mean, I feel like One Punch Man at the same time, like, kind of like how Mike's Konosuba recommendation went off the rails because of how ecchi it was.
Mm-hmm.
There are some like weird moments in One Punch Man.
I don't know. Are there?
Like, well, there's that one scene where he's fighting Speed of Sound Sonic and he like punches him in the balls. And it's
that's
very
funny.
like slow-mo.
That's classic.
But like it's
See, I think
there's not a lot of ecchi in One Punch Man is kind of like where I'm coming from
a
too.
Different thing. Yeah. I think actually in my mind, I think that another problem with Monster I have is that it's not anime enough. You're trying to get them into anime and warm them up to the tropes that they're going to experience on their anime journey. Whereas Monster is so like not anime that I think it might not do a good job of preparing them for the second half of Sword Art Online when they go to their second anime, for example.
Well, I don't think they're going to jump from Monster to SAO. Like
they should.
They might.
They should though.
Honestly, I think they probably will. I feel like SAO is like a very early anime a lot of people watch.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, because I could see somebody watching this and being like, "Oh, well, anime is very sophisticated." And then they go and watch Nokatan, and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
Well,
you kind of get what I'm saying. It should do a small bit of desensitizing for what's to come.
See, I kind of want to push back on that a little bit, because like kind of what you touched upon, you have to know your audience, and like at the same time as at the same time as you're going to be desensitized. Some people look at anime and just think like, oh, it's all weird BS.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. And so like by showing the Monster, you show them like not all anime is weird BS. Like it can be just a good, well-written, well-thought show.
Yeah. I tried to nominate some shows that were like that too. I think Monster is maybe oversteering in that way, in that direction.
That's kind of, I feel like, I think I agree with what you're saying. I think it's a good recommendation for a certain person, but from the broadband appeal, I think it's just a little too, I don't know if I could recommend it again. I'm picturing like your 13-year-old asking you at our con, at like Ai-kon, and they're like, "Oh, what's a good anime for me to watch?" I don't know if Monster's the one I come up with.
Yeah.
Whereas One Punch Man, I feel like that literally appeals to literally every person.
Again,
almost.
The proverbial stranger on the street walks up to Jay and he's like, "Jay-sama,
yeah,
I'm a 15-year-old boy. What show should I watch?" I'd probably
turn and run the other way. I don't talk to 15-year-olds.
No.
No, as he runs.
Okay, well let's vote anyway.
Yeah. And I feel like the early phases in this is where we kind of iron out what we're looking for in like a gateway anime. And I think we've done some good analysis here, but I am going to have to vote for One Punch Man to continue on.
Yeah. I would echo that. Jay, did we sway you at all?
No.
You did not.
You have not.
Stubborn as always.
Yeah. Well, no, I get where Jay's coming from. I understand that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I
just, there's other ones that I think Jay may have nominated that kind of meet that better than Monster does. But anyway, moving on.
If I was trying to get my dad into anime, who is like someone who doesn't like superhero or any fantasy at all, Monster would be the choice.
Yeah. We talked about it last week. Like, point, I know my dad would like Monster.
Yeah.
Because he likes
He's not
that.
watching it though.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Next one is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, one of the GOATs.
Ooh.
Nominated by Michael. And that one's going up against my nomination. This is a tough one. A Silent Voice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, the appeal for me with A Silent Voice is, again, similar to what Jay was saying about Monster. It has that like maturity to it where it's like, see, anime can be just this wonderful, beautiful story. And it's also a movie.
Yeah,
which
I think that's probably the biggest selling point for me for a Gateway is it's a movie versus 65 episodes.
Yeah. I don't want to dwell on that too much because like that's maybe an unfair advantage. But I think like it's also like it's a pretty universal story. It's about like grief and forgiveness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty universal. Like everybody, whether you're 12 or 112, like that's a pretty common theme amongst people. So I feel like it's a good gateway anime. Michael, why Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, this niche anime that nobody knows about? Why should that be somebody's gateway?
See, I hear what you're saying, and obviously the movie argument is going to be a tough one to overcome here because it's the only movie that was nominated. So
no,
it's almost has a bit of
a movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like you kind of got to throw that out a little bit, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying that a movie is a little more accessible, but the other thing is you could throw on an episode of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and it's only a 20-minute investment. And if they choose to, they can continue watching. Yeah. Whereas I feel like that's easier to access than sitting down and watching a full movie, not knowing what anime is. The other thing too is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist anyway, has the advantage of being not really set in a Japanese setting. You don't need to know anything about Japanese culture to understand it. You don't need to know that like how their school system works and all this, like all the little intricate stuff that we know because we're anime fans. Yeah. But when you're just getting into it, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood could just basically take place in any country, anywhere, anytime.
Like Nazi basically. Germany.
Right. Yeah. Which is sort of, the implication, I guess.
Well, there was that one movie that took place after. We talked about it in a previous episode.
We did, yes. Yeah. But the actual series that I've suggested is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I think it has everything that you'd want in a starter anime. It has an excellent dub. Excellent.
Yeah.
It has simple to follow story that shows that anime can do more than just battle shonen.
Yeah.
There's complex political themes and stuff like that. It's animated brilliantly. The characters are easy to identify with and understand. You understand the journey and all that stuff. I think it's almost unmatched as a gateway anime, in my opinion.
One thing I will give Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood its props for is that like the story really like expands. Like it starts pretty simple and then like as you go on this journey, it really becomes more and more complicated. The time investment that you put into it feels rewarded. I still like my thing is if I'm recommending something to say like my sister and she comes to me and she's like, listen, I hate anime, but give me one to watch just to give you the opportunity. I'm going to say A Silent Voice because again, it's just a beautiful movie, well animated. Of course, it's KyoAni. The score in it is brilliant. Whereas Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has a lot of those anime tropes that can be off-putting, I think, for some people, possibly.
In Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's defense, you both did set a precedent that you want to lead them in to that trope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you want to have a light brushing of the anime tropes to just warm them up a bit. And I think A Silent Voice kind of has that a little bit too, to be fair. But the other thing I would say is if you're in this particular example, I think probably most anime fans, at least these before, I don't know about nowadays, honestly, have at least some experience with like bullying and stuff like that, which kind of swings the needle in favor of A Silent Voice.
Yeah.
Because, but I don't know now that anime is so popular. I don't know, honestly, that the average person checking out anime for the first time is going to identify with the bullying themes of A Silent Voice. is really gonna. I feel like that's a crucial part to enjoying that film. Is if you don't. I mean, everybody's experienced some degree of bullying, but if they don't have that deep emotional connection to it, I don't know that they're gonna get that much enjoyment out of a silent voice.
I think like sympathy in general is just like something that it evokes from you. And like I don't know if you need to experience something to understand it.
I agree with you. I'm kind of pointing something out that I think could go against.
Because like you like most of the stuff that happened in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like not everyone has experienced stuff in that.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
I mean, almost certainly. Yes.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I sacrificed my brother's body, and now he's.
But there's a degree of what do you call it? Like suspended disbelief.
Yeah, it's a fantasy story, so you have to have that
you wouldn't get with a silent voice.
Whereas a silent voice is a much more grounded, like.
Yeah.
Right, but I still think that like you're able to understand like what's going on, feel sympathy for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
It sounds like Cole and I are essentially split on this, so I guess Jay, you will be the deciding vote as far as this one is
for
concerned.
me,
yeah.
I've heard a non-anime fan recommend a silent voice to another non-anime fan. And like that for me is kind of the thing that makes me go, okay, this is a very good gateway anime. Because like how often do you see something like that?
Yeah. I would that be your vote then?
That would probably be my vote.
Okay.
Not to say that Full Metal Alchemist is a bad gateway. I think a lot of people got into anime from it. I just like I remember that how
Full
like
Metal that single interactions kind of swaying you.
Yeah.
Full Metal I think is like a good like second or third anime. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah. Cuz like the barrier is pretty big, 50 whatever episodes.
64.
Okay.
You got to be specific, Cole.
Yeah.
Jay knows these things, and he does not tolerate inaccuracy.
But yeah, that's kind of where I come down. Anyway, we'll move on. Next up is a Vinland Saga. Now this is an interesting one. Jay nominated this one as well. And it's going up against another Jay nomination, Pokemon. Now this one is interesting, okay? Because we're kind of coming at it from two extremes, right? I think that's kind of what you were.
Yep, I agree.
You were going for, right? Vinland Saga is kind of that more mature, seinen, historical drama, whereas Pokemon is. Need I say more? It's Pokemon.
Pokemon's Pokemon.
Everybody knows Pokemon.
Yeah,
and I guess specifically you're probably talking about like Indigo League or just whatever
Pokemon in general. So
okay.
I mean, you would start at Indigo
to push my pitch a bit for Pokemon. With with most of the anime we have here, you're probably gonna want to like watch from episode 1 and go as like keep going. Right. With Pokemon, you can kind of just like watch whatever episode you want. Like it does. Yep. Yes, there's a narrative through line, but like you don't need to watch every episode in order to get enjoyment out of Pokemon.
Yeah, the narrative through line isn't very strong. It's a pretty monster of the week type episode. Very episodic. Yeah. I would say Vinland Saga actually is a better gateway between the two of these. It's tough because Pokemon is like strictly children. Like if you're a 25-year-old having not grown up on Pokemon, you are not getting anything out of the Pokemon anime.
The thing, though, is, like, I feel like if you know what Pokemon is, you're either probably going to watch it or you have seen it.
Yeah.
The thing with Pokemon, I almost want to bring up, like, invent a new term here as, like, pre-gateway. Because I feel like you watch Pokemon not even thinking, like, oh, this is Japanese animation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was just a cartoon.
It's like the gateway to the gateway almost.
It is
in my mind anyway. It's kind of like how I was watching like Dragon Ball Z as a kid, where I was like, I didn't even cross my mind that this wasn't like an American cartoon.
Yeah. Where Vinland Saga, I feel like, you know, if you're a 15-year-old, it's maybe a little mature for you, but like it's still like the action in it and it is enough to like keep you invested. I'm swaying towards Vinland Saga, I think, in this case. Where Pokemon, I think it just has that niche where, yeah, we're all born in the 90s, so of course we grew up with Pokemon, so it holds a special place in our heart, but like think about it from an outsider's perspective. They're going to be like, what is this? What is this? Right?
Yeah, I'm curious to know which way Jay slides on his own battle that he's set up here.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of just remaining silent, so I'm curious where
Cole was
where his
speaking.
thoughts
I
go.
don't want to interrupt him.
It's okay.
He's not speaking now.
I think like the thing about Pokemon is that if you haven't seen it, then yeah, it's probably not something you can easily get someone into.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you have a friend who like you got them into the Pokemon game, right?
Yeah.
And then you go like, oh, there's also a show tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then broaden it from there. Like, then I'd see it. Like, I'm thinking from the angle of like, they've played the games.
Yeah.
But like, they haven't seen the show.
Huge, right? Or just like they're familiar with like Pikachu or the merch and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like,
I would
Pokemon's
just say
like the biggest franchise in the world.
Yeah.
I would just say that's like, there's more hoops there that need to be jumped through than, like Vinland Saga is just a cool Viking show.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, on the other hand, with Vinland Saga, like, the action in season 1 sold a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a gateway show, you don't need to necessarily move on to season 2. You can just, like, watch season 1 and then broaden from there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you like season 1, most likely you're going to continue to season 2.
Yeah.
But like once you finish season 1, if you go to season 2 and you're like, this isn't really for me, I wanted the action, then you can go, okay, what other anime are out there that are like Vinland Saga season 1?
Yeah. A good gateway. A good
right?
thing. Yeah. Well, anyway, what would you vote for though?
Probably say Vinland Saga.
Okay. No, Michael?
Yeah. I would also go Vinland Saga. I think the problem with Pokemon
unanimous.
is like it's like a good it's like a primer of your like infantile brain to like get used to 2D animation and stuff like that. But I feel like if I recommended it to anybody over the age of like say 10 years old, they're probably going to be like not too thrilled with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, this is just cartoons.
Yeah.
And
this was also my joke nomination, by the way.
Oh,
you don't have to defend it. It's
no,
okay.
I'm not defending it. I'm just being like, couldn't think of stuff.
I mean,
I honestly considered Pokemon as well, and then these are the thoughts that I had that swayed me away from it, because I feel like Pokemon truly was a gateway anime for me, but it was like it was too far removed from me actually getting into anime for it to be.
It was
what
like
I consider a gateway
inadvertent gateway anime.
Yeah, it was like subliminal almost.
Yeah. Next nominee, Princess Mononoke. This is Jay's nomination.
The other movie we talked about.
Yeah, and it's going up against Free Ren. Oh my goodness, that's my nomination.
Let her buck, kings.
Well, Free Ren, I think, is I don't know, like it's kind of a perfect anime in a weird way, right? Like it's perfect. It wins. I win. No, it's like if you like action, it's all there. If you like character development, it's there. The animation in it is great. Everything that you would want in an anime is pretty well represented in Free Ren. Where Princess Mononoke is just a great movie as well, but I could see people being a little less, like it's very Japanese mythology based, so there's maybe a little bit more of a barrier to entry, whereas Free Ren is like everybody knows about elves and magic, right? So the barrier is a little less intense.
It's weird. I think that the big problem with free rent is I feel like I could see people saying this was too slow for me. Or like this was kind of a bit boring. Whereas with Princess Mononoke, I could see people watching Princess Mononoke and being like, this was fun. Maybe I'll watch more Ghibli movies, but then they just stay within the realm of Ghibli movies. Yeah.
Okay.
And the credit that I'd give your Princess Mononoke recommendation is that it's really close to another one that I almost put on my list, which was Spirited Away. And I just wanted to put like Ghibli movies as a whole as a gateway anime. It's like a genre almost, because I feel like that's another true gateway that people experience, is because they experience like the great things that are Ghibli movies. And they're like, oh, I'm looking for more of this. It kind of like, it warms them up to the concept, and it also introduces them to like a lot of the tropes of anime as well.
Yeah.
While being like masterfully directed films. That I feel like Ghibli movies are great gateway anime.
And like Princess Mononoke, in terms of it being like a Ghibli movie, it's a bit more mature than other Ghibli movies as well. Like it's famous, like it's one of the only Ghibli movies that has blood in it. It's it's a pretty mature story about war and nature and stuff.
And the dub has like a cast that you'd recognize as a Western audience as well.
Yeah, good dub, except for Billy Bob Thornton. You really mailed that one in. We
did a review on it. We can go check that out if you want more in-depth thoughts.
We covered just how much Billy Bob Thornton mailed it in.
Free Ren's dub I don't like, but that's just me.
I like it.
Yeah, that's personal preference. To be honest, I'm probably gonna vote against mine. I'll probably go Princess Mononoke. Not to shoot my own foot, but like Free Ren is kind of the same issue as Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's like a good second or third anime.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I come
and
down
like
too.
if you're recommending this to someone more mature, who like doesn't really care about fantasy. Like, I mean, first of all, you're probably not recommending either of these. But I probably lean more toward Princess Mononoke just because of its themes of war and nature and things like that.
There's not wizards and spellcasters so much in. It's more. It almost feels like the thing with Ghibli movies is they almost feel like mythological a little bit. Like they don't feel. They feel fantastical, but not being like high fantasy. They just kind of feel like, oh, this might be like a cultural story someone tells, sort of thing.
I do just want to say, like, the theming in Free Ren is better than, I think, just like wizards shooting spells at each other. Like it is a pretty human story.
You're right. Yeah, but you're right. It's just but
I think it's
it's just kind of like what one person sees on the tin versus what another person would see on the tin.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you're looking at the cover of the book.
At the end of the day, I think Free Ren's too slow for someone just getting. I think it's too anime and too slow for someone just getting into anime.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have that like appreciation of like, a slow story.
It's a little bit elite.
No, like it does the slow storytelling well. Yeah, it is slow, but it's good at being slow.
Especially in this day and age where a lot of the younger people have TikTok brain.
Yeah. So Free Ren moves on then, right? Yeah, we
Princess
all voted
Mononoke.
for
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke moves on. Here. Yeah. Okay, next up is Barakamon, another show that we reviewed. This was my nomination, and it is going up against A Silent Voice. Well, I mean, Barakamon is a good anime. Again, though, it's one of those ones where it's maybe a little. The barrier to entry might be a little higher than something like A Silent Voice. It is like it's about a calligrapher, a Japanese calligrapher, whereas A Silent Voice is about students, right? Being a student is pretty universal. I'm leaning towards A Silent Voice. Would you guys do you guys want to push back on that at all?
I do agree with you, and I don't want to bring this up too much, but at the same time, A Silent Voice is on Netflix. Is Barakamon on Netflix?
Barakamon is not on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point to bring up, too.
And most people who don't watch anime probably don't have Crunchyroll. I'd say no one who doesn't, or everyone who doesn't watch anime.
It'd be weird.
That'd be an odd choice.
Has Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So I think like the closest we could get, or like the winner is probably going to be one that we can find on an accessible streaming service like Netflix.
Yeah, I feel a little weird using that as an argument because like, what if Netflix loses the rights to it, for example?
Yeah.
But in this case, I think it's on Netflix everywhere, and it's been on there forever.
Yeah.
I think it's
and,
a
like,
fair
the
argument.
DVDs or Blu-rays are like very accessible as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at the same time, like we're talking about right now, like there's probably other shows that will come out that might be a better gateway anime than whatever wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
I think this was a miss by me. Barakamon's probably not a very good gateway anime.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice about it, but
Yeah.
I think it's too steeped in like Japanese culture and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little too like niche as well, I think.
When I saw it, my initial reaction was interesting. I'm gonna let Cole cook.
Yeah, I got nothing to cook here. A Silent Voice. I'm Silent Voice moves on.
Yeah, sometimes like when you like see it in context, you're kind of like, that was not the wisest choice in hindsight.
Yeah.
But hindsight's 2020, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, A Silent Voice moves on.
Yeah. Next up, Princess Mononoke. We discussed this one thoroughly, and it's going up against Fate Zero. Ooh. Now here we go. Here we're talking. So you want to suggest an anime to somebody, and they're like, I like action. You're like, well,
okay.
Well, do I have the anime for you? It's by a studio that is well renowned for its action. This is one where I'd be like, listen, like pay attention to the animation in this. Like you're watching anime, don't just like pay attention to the animation in it and get an appreciation for it. I think that this would be a good example of that. The story is also excellent. It's the best Fate series, without a question, without a doubt. No arguments from anybody ever.
Counterpoint from the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay's like, actually.
Also, like, it's just it's a mature story. It's a tragedy, which is always fun. I like those stories.
It's going up against Princess Mononoke,
Princess
right?
Mononoke, yeah. So
the only real issue I have here with you, Cole, is you've chosen the wrong Fate as a gateway anime.
No, I didn't.
Unlimited Blade Works is the better gateway anime, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
And I know you and I would agree that I think that Fate Zero is the better anime.
Mm-hmm.
But in my experience, I don't know many people. I know people get into Fate through Unlimited Blade Works a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that many people who watch Zero first.
And
that's kind of my argument why I would say that you've chosen the wrong Fate.
The problem is that they're wrong.
In your opinion, maybe.
Yes,
but it's the facts.
Well, let me just say, I think Fate Zero is a better gateway anime because the story is just a better story. We get a better cast of characters. We get less like teenage angst.
Well,
where
Cole,
this one is very.
If Fate Zero is the better story, then wouldn't it be better to start with a lesser story and work up? Because like, what if they love Fate? Like, let's say you get this person into Fate Zero, and they're like, oh man, this is peak. This is the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Where can I watch more? And then you point them to Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Right? Because like it's probably the closest thing. It's a sequel. It's like it's a continuation of the story. And then they go and watch it, and then they're like, man, this is peak too. because it's the better one.
Excellent.
But going off your argument that Zero is better.
Mm-hmm.
They go, I just didn't like it as much.
Well, keep looking. Keep going. There's other good shows to watch.
Yeah, but I want Fate.
You want him to chase that dragon, Jay. That's
and then,
what we're doing.
Then they go and they find out about the huge Fate web.
Oh God.
And they
go watch
no.
Ilya Prism Liner or whatever it's called. Well, I want to give them the best experience to start with. So
I hear what you're doing. I hear what you're doing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fate Zero is maybe a little too... The themes are a little too complex and a little too dark. And while it's a more straight line story than Unlimited Blade Works, maybe, I think Unlimited Blade Works is just kind of easier to watch in the way that it's basically just like hype fights and awesome animation with like a really simple plot. And I think that's why it makes for a better gateway. Well, and then the real we're arguing something that doesn't actually matter.
I think at the same time, I think Fate in general is just like kind of like what Cole said about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a good like second or third anime.
A lot of Cole's list are like, these are incredible anime, but I don't know how good they are as the first anime you watch. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the shots fired at old Cole's about.
I'm not taking shots. I'm just pointing out.
Also,
like,
Princess Mononoke is a movie. We did make an argument about a movie being.
Yeah. Mike made a good point that I do agree with. I have made an argument against things being like maybe too dark to be a gateway. Yeah,
Zero's much darker than Unlimited Blade Works, and definitely darker than Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not trying to.
No.
I'm just being fair. I'm just being.
No. Yeah. I agree with that.
Take it or leave it as this point is, all of the Ghibli movies were licensed by Disney at one point.
Yeah.
And do you know what the one was that kind of made them do that? Princess Mononoke. Yeah. Was like the first.
Yeah. Well, let us make our voting official, gentlemen.
Yes.
Jay, vote.
Officially.
Princess Mononoke.
Okay, interesting. Michael?
Yeah. As the Cardinal Official of this podcast, I will say Princess Mononoke as well.
Interesting. I will say Princess Mononoke as well. Fate Zero is just a goddamn good show. Princess Mononoke is a really good movie too, though. Yeah. Unfortunately, sorry, that's just me speaking. Princess Mononoke moves on. Next up, we've got Vinland Saga up against One Punch Man. So here we go. Now we're talking two sign-in shows.
That's right.
I would say One Punch Man is maybe more accessible and universal compared to something like Vinland Saga. It's more fun, I think, and it's got cool action. And
that's a good point.
It's funny, and it's got cool action.
Well, for the same Vinland Saga also has good action.
It does have good action.
Yes. Yeah. Both are done very well. The only thing that sides me one way on this one is maybe that I think if it's my first anime, while Vinland Saga benefits from being more serious and more... I guess well done is maybe the word I'd put for it. Like a little more thoughtful, a little more heady. I think as a first-time anime fan, you're looking for something a little lighter, maybe. A little more easy to digest, which I feel like One Punch Man is, because it's just... The only thing is I'm really hesitant to recommend a parody as someone's first entry into...
At the same time, if we're going there, superhero fatigue is huge now.
Yeah.
And this is a superhero show.
The thing with One Punch Man, and now like it hit me while I was talking about it, you kind of have to like have watched Dragon Ball Z or something like that to get One Punch Man to stick. Otherwise, it's just a superhero show.
And at the same time, for shows like Vinland Saga, I'm coming from the angle of like Game of Thrones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Game of Thrones was huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of has that same vibe to it of being like a serious drama.
Yeah.
It's not show.
It's not like off-puttingly anime either.
Yeah.
Like the character designs are all pretty like grounded. Where like One Punch Man, it's quite anime, which it could go either way in this argument, but I think it being a satire kind of takes it away. It takes away from it a little bit.
I kind of agree.
I will say, with One Punch Man, if someone went into season 1 and then went, "Oh, that was great. I heard there was a season 2. Can't wait to watch that." And then they watch season 2.
I will say though, the reason why I put One Punch Man on here is because I have an uncle. He's my dad's youngest brother, who talked to me about this show, and he didn't know about like the change in studio between season 1 and 2. He was just like, "Cool, more One Punch Man." But thinking back on it as well, this was also the uncle who used to watch Dragon Ball Z when I was little.
Okay.
So of course he liked it. It's satire of Dragon Ball Z, essentially, that power fantasy.
And I feel like part of the thing with like season 2 of One Punch Man is maybe as a beginning anime fan, you wouldn't be as aware of like the drop off as much.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I could see a world. I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because really both of these have very conflicting second seasons, if I were to say, because like I could see Vinland Saga also people being like, "What the hell is this?" when the second season starts as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a wash. Then both of them kind of have
so
that
part's kind of I agree, a wash. I honestly don't know where I'm going on this one yet.
No, well, it's about time you made up your mind because we're about to vote. I'm voting for Vinland Saga.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna vote for Vinland Saga.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go One Punch Man, I guess. Okay. I think just because like I feel like more people that I have seen in real life have got into One Punch Man as an early anime than I've seen get into anime through Vinland Saga.
The problem with Vinland Saga as well was it was on Amazon. It was in Amazon jail.
Yeah. Well, it's on Netflix now.
It's on Netflix now.
Now it is.
But yeah. It was less accessible for a long time.
I think that's why a lot of people were like into One Punch Man because it was there. It was on Netflix. It was ready to go. Anyway. Yeah. Vinland Saga moves on. Yes. Next up, the one that Mike stole from me, Demon Slayer.
Dun, da, da.
Dun, da, da, going up against Hunter x Hunter, 2 of Mike's nominations.
I get skipped out for a long time, and then I get 2 of them right up against each other.
2 in a row. You've got 4 remaining here.
I know. So to praise Demon Slayer, you're introducing this person to anime through arguably the biggest anime property currently, period.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And then not only that, it is a very simple, they're not familiar with shonen tropes at this point, right? So they're not going to be bored with the somewhat simplistic story. If anything, that's a selling feature in this one because it's a very straightforward shonen, and shonen is proven to be a very good gateway anime or gateway medium, I guess.
Yeah.
And everything in Demon Slayer, from the animation to the production to the characters to the story, is all so easy to get into and accessible. And while also being universally appealing to both a mature and a juvenile audience, that I think it's almost a perfect gateway anime. I don't.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why both me and Cole tried picking this. But the early bird gets the worm, or the anime in this case.
Yeah, as Jay said so eloquently in our group discussion.
Quoting Professor Oak.
Yeah. I think Demon Slayer is great. Converse to that, I also think Hunter x Hunter kind of fits a lot of the same things. The only thing that I think is Hunter x Hunter is a little more convoluted. You kind of need to know, I feel like you need a little more knowledge of like power scaling and power systems and stuff like that, because Nen is goddamn complicated. And I feel like that it just kind of starts a little slower, that it might lose some people. So I'm kind of just basically single-handedly discussing my two shows. What do you guys think about this battle?
Well, that would be what you said there at the end about Hunter x Hunter would be my big turnoff for it. It takes a long time. Like a long time. People say like you got to get to like episode 35 before you get into the good stuff. And like that's a huge investment where Demon Slayer gets into Demon Slayer stuff immediately. The whole
episode 1. Yeah.
The whole training thing, which usually is like a whole arc in most anime, is like 1 or 2 episodes. Like you are moving on. Yeah. Tanjiro becomes a Demon Slayer by like episode 4.
Yeah.
The other thing too.
The way I describe it to people is it's like the shonen formula like perfected, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing about Demon Slayer is, yes, it is Japanese. We've used that as kind of like a downside. It's very like steeped in Japanese culture, but this is cool Japanese culture though. This is like turn of the century Japanese culture that
period pieces definitely help that.
Yeah. A lot of people are huge fans of like samurai movies and things like I mean, look at Ghost of Tsushima, right? Like that was an homage to samurai films.
Yeah.
My biggest argument against Hunter x Hunter is its length.
Yeah.
It is a very long show and like over 100 episodes. And I don't want to make someone commit to a long show.
Yeah.
In the beginning. With Demon Slayer, it's at least easier because it's like it's split into seasons. So like they can finish season 1 if they're not feeling it.
Yeah.
Then they can move on to something else.
Imagine showing like a person from the 1930s, like episode 20 of Demon Slayer in the first season, where Tanjiro goes nuts.
What is this witchcraft?
They would die. They would explode. Yeah. Like it's so hype.
Their brain would just melt.
Like I think Mike kind of put it very well when he said like it's shonen perfected. It takes all of the tropes. It does all the tropes well. Yes, it's tropey. It is, as the kids say, mid in some cases.
The thing with tropes is if you don't know what the tropes are yet and you're just getting into it, you're not familiar with them, they're not tropes. They're still new.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it's...
Right.
I know where I'm leaning on this.
I do too. And I think I don't think any of us actually spoke very highly about Hunter x Hunter. Hunter's great. I think it's probably more in the vein of a second or third anime.
Yeah, I think it has that same problem that
you've watched Demon Slayer, you know you like it. You check out Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, now it's time to move on to like a show that has those tropes but subverts them and kind of changes how you think about stuff. Yeah, I think Demon Slayer's the better gateway. That's where I'm voting. Yeah. Unanimous,
Onward.
Jay?
Yep.
Okay. Hunter x Hunter, more like loser. Got him.
More like hunted its last hunt.
Got him. Next up, A Silent Voice goes up against Princess Mononoke. The two movies up against each other.
Movies.
It had to happen. It had to happen at some point.
It did.
Well, I know where I stand on this. We don't need to talk too much about them. I like A Silent Voice more as a gateway, to be honest. Again, I think the theming in it is a bit more universal. It wears its theming on its sleeve too. You don't need to you don't need to have a PhD in literary studies like we all do, of course, us famous for our literary studies. Princess Mononoke's theming is a bit more...
Cool, you say that, by the way. I literally went to school for literature.
Princess Mononoke's theming is a bit more deep. How else can I say it? It's a bit more... It doesn't wear its theming quite on its sleeve so much. I think it, again, if you're recommending this to someone you know is into like film and cinematography and stuff, you probably lean towards the Princess Mononoke side. I would say the opposite.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I would say that's more of the critique's choice here. But I think that A Silent Voice has the benefit of being newer and more accessible. But I'm curious where Jay comes down.
I'm going to push back on that because I had a friend text me being like, hey, I want to go see a movie with my girlfriend. How is that new Ghibli movie?
Yeah.
Which
Ghibli, most people kind of understand at this point too. I guess that's a good point.
He doesn't watch anime. He doesn't watch like anything, but he's seen the Ghibli movies and he likes the Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
So like he knows when a movie by Ghibli comes out to like look into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very good movies.
My point is like, if like it would be one thing if like an anime fan were to do that, right? Like makes sense. But just a normal, like just a normie who doesn't watch anime ever.
His true thoughts come out. Just a normie.
Just a gross, disgusting normie.
Just disgusting normie. Get away from me.
I didn't say disgusting. You're putting words in my mouth there.
I said that.
We read between the lines.
Like I feel like it has more of a general accessibility than something like a Silent Voice.
Yeah. I just think like the other thing too is a Silent Voice has such like a cathartic payoff at the end where it's like, wow, this is what anime can do. The whole X's falling, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And the way the score works and the like the whole emotional payoff at the end of the movie is so huge that I think that in and of itself is enough to like just recommend it. Like if somebody came to me and is like, what movie should I watch? I'm going to be like, you need to watch Silent Voice right now. Come in. I have a chair ready for you.
I think A Silent Voice is the better film. But I think that Princess Mononoke would probably be the better movie to make someone watch first.
So seeing as you two seem like you're firmly set in your ways of supporting your own choices.
Yeah, I think we're at an impasse here, Jay.
You're at an impasse, like I'm detecting. I sense an opportunity to be the hero here.
Okay.
And select
or the villain.
The winner. I'm going to be a hero and a villain at the same time. Yeah. Both things can exist.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what the difference between a hero and a villain is?
Perspective.
The point of view. Yes.
Wow.
And in my opinion, if I'm recommending this to say like a coworker, person on the street comes up to me and say, AniPro Mike Sama, I'm interested in your anime. What may I watch?
Is this a robot?
Yes, it is. It's my robot.
What may
life.
I watch? Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Beep boop, beep boop. I think I'm really honestly 50-50 on this one too.
Yeah,
I really don't know where I'd go. I feel like I couldn't go wrong recommending a Ghibli movie though. And I think that's where I'm going to come down. I feel like introducing them to Ghibli would be the choice. If I had to, I'd say probably I'd recommend either of these if they wanted an anime movie. But I think getting them just a taste of a Ghibli movie is probably the better sell.
Yeah. I think recommending shows in general to break our entire tournament comes down to asking as a preamble, what kind of shows are you into?
Yes. Of course. Yeah. That goes.
But we have to set that.
But we have to decide.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to make a decision.
This isn't a vacuum.
Well, then A Silent Voice, unfortunately, this time I mean it, goes away. Next,
like I said, A Silent Voice is the better movie. Yeah. But I think
I hear the arguments.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I think they're pretty good, both of them.
We'll have a discussion. Anyway, Mike, you and I are going to have a discussion off air. Yeah.
We'll have a Pokemon card battle about it.
Yeah. Next up, you'll beat me too. Princess Mononoke again.
Running the gauntlet.
Back to back, going up against Demon Slayer. Well, I'm sorry, Princess Mononoke.
Oh, dang. How many are left at this point?
We've got 6. 6 left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, okay. We're getting to the point now where things start rolling. Yeah. So
these are two heavy hitters, though.
These are two heavy hitters, but I don't even need to deliberate, to be honest. I know
my answer as well.
I know where I'm going with this one. I mean, we talked about how it's perfected a formula. I think you get dumped right into the action. Princess Mononoke is a beautiful, beautiful movie. It's very, very good. But Demon Slayer, I think, is just a superior gateway anime, in my opinion.
You did make the argument, though, that one's a movie and one's a show.
Yeah, that's not that's not a end all be all. Yes, one is a movie and one is a show. Demon Slayer is essentially a 24 episode movie.
I feel like the movie argument, if anything, actually detracts from the gateway element a little bit, because essentially, like, here, let me just pitch it this way to you guys. Come do this strange and unusual thing with me. You can either choose to do it for 20 minutes and maybe continue on if you like it, or do this strange and unusual thing for 2 hours and 14 minutes with me.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from like a macro point of view. Like, I want them to watch the show. I'm not just thinking of, like, they could turn the movie off after 5 minutes.
Yeah,
they don't have to finish it.
They could.
You don't need to finish the movie.
I see that as more of a barrier. A movie being more of a barrier.
Come do this strange and unusual thing with me.
The other point for Princess Mononoke, I feel like that movie has more, just from its genre, it has a wider point of accessibility, whereas like some people might not want to watch an action show.
It's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, true. I would say if somebody's wiggling their toe in the pool of anime, they probably want to watch some action anime.
I don't know, like there are a lot of non-action shows that are really good.
Oh, of course there are. I completely
and like I think like if, again, this is their first anime, right? Maybe they'll warm up to the idea of watching an action show, or a shonen battle manga turned anime. But what if not right now?
Okay,
so
here's
my counter to you, Jay, would be when I was doing my research for which ones I was going to pick, I looked at a thing where they polled all of r/anime for what their gateway anime was. And I'm looking at it and I don't see a single non-action show in the top. The first one I see is Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the 20th something show, 20th highest.
And
then K-On! Right after that.
Those are bad gateways. those are bad gateway animes.
Yeah, they're not all good gateways.
I think I watched K-On! Like 5th.
But like the top 5 is Naruto, Attack on Titan, Death Note, Sword Art Online, and FMA.
At the same time, all of those shows came out around the time where shonen or shonen-esque was the big, like that was the big thing. That was the most accessible thing. We're going under the assumption that we are recommending a show to someone. Yeah. Right?
So then it also breaks it down by people who got into anime since 2016. And the top 5 there are Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, FMA, My Hero, and Naruto.
Well, I mean, it's
coming at us with numbers.
Coming at you with the receipts.
Shonen's still big. Like, again, that's from people that are looking for shows, and most likely the big shows that you're going to find when you look for anime are all those shows you listed. But if we're recommending a show to someone, right, it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah. I just think, like, put yourself in the position of somebody who's never watched anime before. What do you think they are going to be more hyped about?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to get, like, is the point of getting someone to anime getting them hyped, or just getting them to enjoy a show?
Probably.
I want them to be hyped. That's
like, or a movie, I guess, in this case.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's where I'm coming from.
Because, like, for me, most of the people that I know that aren't into anime will still watch Ghibli movies and love them. And it's very easy to use that as a jumping off point.
Okay.
Counterpoint.
Hold on. Let me counterpoint here. Okay, lots of people who don't watch anime but are into Ghibli movies. So they've watched these Ghibli movies but still aren't into anime. Is that
but I mean, you can say the same about Demon Slayer. They just haven't seen it.
Right, but if people are watching Demon Slayer, they're probably getting into anime.
Or they're just watching Demon Slayer.
I don't think I know anyone who's only watched Demon Slayer, though. I think we've kind of all decided our stances.
Yeah. We'll just talk around in circles. I'm voting Demon Slayer.
And Jay Guardian Sama?
I mean, I think you already know my vote.
I know, that's why I'm asking you.
I am voting for Princess Mononoke.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Wow. There we go. We got it out of him.
Pause for
and I'm
dramatic
voting
effect.
for D-Mid Slayer.
D-Mid Slayer. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, Princess Mononoke is a really good movie.
These are all excellent choices, I think.
Yeah.
But I think if I just had, if you put a gun to my head and I have to put my hand in one of these boxes and give it to somebody, I think I'm going Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up,
5
Vinland.
remain.
Vinland Saga going up against Demon Slayer.
Uh-oh, this is a heavy hitter.
Yeah, this one's pretty heavy too.
Yeah.
Vinland Saga, again, it depends on the person. Like if I've got like a 17-year-old coming up to me asking for a recommendation, I'm going Demon Slayer. If I've got like a 27-year-old coming up to me for a recommendation, I'm going Vinland Saga.
See, I don't know. I feel like Vinland Saga has more of a wide appeal, whereas Demon Slayer is a bit more shonen.
I was just about to say the opposite.
I would completely argue the opposit, I think.
I think Demon Slayer has like Vinland Saga, you're not gonna, if you're a 13-year-old girl, which do you think that they're probably gonna like more?
Right, but I'm coming at this from the angle of most of them probably like kind of like the Game of Thrones appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was like one of the biggest shows ever. And which show do you think would be most similar to that?
Yeah, but I mean, like, by that argument, you could say the biggest movie of all time is, Endgame? I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, which movie is more like Endgame? Or which show is more like Endgame? I'd probably say Demon
neither,
Slayer, but
honestly.
But that's irrelevant. Like,
yeah, it's kind of a straw man argument a little bit.
Yeah, I just think Demon Slayer is probably like everyone who's watched Demon Slayer seems to have a good time with it. Well, everybody watch Vinland. I don't know. I don't know.
I think again we're arguing. The problem is we're getting attached to these like great shows that we love.
Mm-hmm.
But like you got to put yourself in the eyes of someone who hasn't watched hundreds of anime.
Well, that's the thing.
Sure
like that's kind of my Game of Thrones argument, right? Like it was a huge show. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone who was a fan of Game of Thrones, you could easily port over to watching Vinland Saga, and they probably have the same amount of enjoyment.
I do agree with that. Your argument makes sense. The problem is there's lots of really good shows that were really popular that weren't Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Like you could say Friends is one of the biggest shows too, or like there's lots of arguments for that. The issue I have with Vinland Saga here is that I think Vinland Saga makes for a really good, I think it falls into the second anime camp.
Yeah, it kind of falls into that. Yeah.
You're like, okay, I've watched Demon Slayer, for example.
I don't know if you're going from Demon Slayer to Vinland Saga, though.
I think a lot of people, honestly, I think you're making it sound a lot more mature and seinen than it really is for the first season. The second season for damn sure is.
Mm-hmm.
But the first season really is kind of just a revenge battle shonen story.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know where I'm landing.
I know
on this
where
one.
I side on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I had to argue for it, because I knew you guys were just gonna say Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I'm
not
a
discuss
Vinland
anything.
Saga fan.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be like that.
It's tough to argue against Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
You put up a good fight, Jay, but it looks like Mike wins this thing. So, hey, yeah, great. Good job, Mike.
No, Jay still got one more in this tournament.
Oh, no, he does. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. There's one more hope here.
Here we go. Here's a new one. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's going up against Attack on Titan.
Ooh, 2 of mine.
2 of Mike's, and there are 2 new ones here. Now.
Yes.
Mike, I know you love Jujutsu Kaisen.
I do.
It's a very hype show. It's very cool.
It is. Yeah.
It's got great animation. But Attack on Titan is one of the best goddamn shows of all time.
That's exactly what I was going to say too. I love JJK. It's a great battle shonen. It's maybe even a quintessential battle shonen because it's like just straight up fights for the whole thing. But man, Attack on Titan is so good. And it has the added benefit of not being set in Japan and being kind of a semi-period piece.
Kind of.
Yeah. That I think that makes it more broadly accessible for people.
I think domain expansion and just like the cursed energy and all that might be a little bit confusing for someone who doesn't understand power systems.
Yeah, you need to have that previous
it's kind of like
knowledge.
Hunter Nen, the argument we had earlier a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, the big critique I always have for Jujutsu Kaisen is that it gets lost in the weed trying to explain things a lot.
Yes. It's to the point where like literally when you read the manga, there's been things where Gege will like put, don't read this if you don't care. It's not important. I'm just basically putting it's
flavor text. Okay.
Yeah. Why put this then? Why even include it? Yeah.
Going off of Jay's point about Vinland Saga and Game of Thrones, Attack on Titan has been compared to Game of Thrones lots.
I feel like it's a closer comparison than Vinland Saga for sure.
I hear the comparison for Vinland Saga as well, but it just going off of that previous argument that was made, like
you did say that the counterpoint is the counterpoint you made for Vinland Saga. That like, well, you can compare any show to any show.
I'm just connecting dots. That's all. With what you said, people have compared the two directly. That's not necessarily an argument one way or the other. I was just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, like I said, kind of gets lost in the weeds. You probably need a little bit more of that like shonen know-how about it.
And
Attack
like,
on Titan.
Full disclosure, when I was making my list, it was the last one I added, and it was kind of like why not? Yeah.
And Attack on Titan, from a personal experience, was what got me back into anime too. So, I mean, I shouldn't weigh that too heavily in this, but it is what it is. Like,
I think when I got it back into anime as well, Attack on Titan was the one that kind of was like, holy crap, anime can be like this.
Yeah.
At the same time, just for the sake of argument.
Yeah, just for the sake of argument.
Which you're showing both of these shows to a 13-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. Which one do you think she'd like more?
Depends on the girl. Again, this is a tough one.
I think it'd be a wash. I think they'd like. I think it could be either or. To be honest.
Yeah. Because JJK does have the Satoru Gojo effect.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But the ladies like
has the Levi Ackerman effect as
ladies
well.
Like Levi. Levi comes in later though. Gojo's in the first episode.
Come in later.
I'm going AOT.
In the interest of brevity, AOT for me as well.
Yeah. Jay?
Just for funsies, I'm going to go with JJK because Lobotomy Kaizen is probably more over TikTok than AOT right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that meant, but all right. Next up, we got Demon Slayer, and it's going up against Attack on Titan.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
That's tough. That's a real tough one. These are my top two.
This one is a tough one. And this one's I'm curious to see how Jay goes on this one, because I know Jay famously is not a huge fan of either property.
I'm not.
Pretty much my whole list you could actually say that about, honestly, except for FMA. Maybe Hunter x Hunter. I think
Hunter x Hunter.
I like Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
I am probably. Do you guys have arguments for either one? Because I think I know
my argument for Attack on Titan is it got both of you back into anime.
Yeah, that's
Demon
fair.
Slayer too, though. It was right around the same time.
I
know. I have to almost like check my Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. I think like has gotten more people I know to look at the idea of anime.
Yeah.
And I'll be real with you too. I do know people personally that I have they're like, okay, I'll check out some anime, and I told them to watch Attack on Titan, and they're like anime fans now, I would say.
Yeah. I have one lady at work who's like in her 40s who watches Attack on Titan. My heart says Demon Slayer, to be honest, but
I know.
Just from experience, knowing people, knowing myself, what happened to me, I think I got to go Attack on Titan, to be honest.
I'm curious what Jay says. I'm curious.
I think Demon Slayer is a bit too simple. Attack on Titan, while it's not my favorite thing in the world, in fact, something I don't like.
Praise it.
Praise it.
It did get a lot of people into anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's just a fact.
Yeah. It's tough to argue against results.
Yeah.
It's got, again, I think that it benefits from being set in basically Germany, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like pre World War II Germany.
And having an again, like Demon Slayer, a strong first episode that shows like, oh, this is more mature. This is not Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also going to go Attack on Titan.
Unanimous? Oh, man. Demon
so.
Slayer's really good, though, too.
That was unexpected. I didn't see Demon Slayer falling unanimously.
All right. Well, I don't even have to spin the wheel because this is the final matchup. We've got Attack on Titan versus the final one that has not been revealed. Jay nominated Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which is an interesting one.
Okay.
Fantastic anime.
Let me cook. Okay. So, I got into anime because of Sword Art Online because it was based on a video game. Okay. Like, or not based on a video game, but it was video game centric and it was a game.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the most likely scenario is you go from liking video games to slowly turning to liking anime.
Yeah, there's a big crossover for sure. Like
a very big
kind
crossover.
Of the same. A lot of games basically play out like an anime or vice versa. Yeah,
and I like Cyberpunk Edge Runners is just like based on an already existing game.
Yeah,
it's true
that a lot of people probably played.
It revitalized the game.
It had been brought back from literally the dead.
Yeah,
basically saved CJ Project Red.
But like I think the game itself, if people played Cyberpunk 2077, you could easily be like, hey, there's an anime based on that that you can watch.
Yeah,
and it has all of like the tropes you might expect going into anime. It has all of like a lot of moments that you might that like you might expect going into other anime if you were to like continue your anime journey. It's well animated, well produced, which like I mean doesn't really matter because you're probably not paying attention to that.
Praise it. Praise Cyberpunk Edge
Runners,
Trigger.
Praise Trigger, Jay.
Praise Trigger.
But like I think from the perspective of liking of a certain property to saying it has a property that exists in this world, it's a very easy transition and has a lot of elements that could continue you into any other anime that someone might want to.
I think if you like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, like if that was your first, I think you're going to have an easier time getting into stuff. That being said, let me point to Rebecca, best girl. She would be a turnoff for a lot of people, I think. The whole lolly thing is kind of has a reputation in anime. Has a reputation viewing anime from the outside.
I didn't even think of that part, but
you're
that's
right.
a good point.
But if someone's gonna get into anime, then they it's going to be something that'll come up at some point.
I hear that.
I agree.
I hear that.
I just don't know if it's the first anime.
I think it's one of those things where you have to like ease them into it. Trigger is an acquired taste as well.
Well, I think by the argument of like it's a bad first anime, then someone who was a fan of Cyberpunk 2077 going to watch the show, right?
I think if
it doesn't work for those people, then like it's a failure of a show.
I think the other thing, I could see someone enjoying Cyberpunk 2077 and going to watch this show and then never watching anime again. Just they only watched it because they enjoy Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And they never even really considered watching anime. I don't know if it leads them down the road.
Well, again,
it could. Like I mean, you could see the same for Attack on Titan. Disagree. Someone gets into Attack on Titan, they only watch Attack on Titan, and then they never watch anything else.
But like your one friend there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, the argument that's being made here is if like somebody has already had to have played this game for it to be a recommendation that you're willing to make to somebody. Take the game out of it.
Well, I mean, it's still like based on a video game.
Right, take that out of it though. Like just the show.
No,
I've never played this game. I've never heard of or played Cyberpunk.
I've never played this game, for example.
2077.
I'd still be like, this is based on a game. I think it's pretty cool. You should check it out. Like, I mean, and who knows? Maybe it'll get them into checking out the game.
Yeah. No, I think it did. I think it did get a lot of people into checking out this game. I think
with this one, I just have a fear. Like, I would feel self-conscious recommending this to people. It'd be like recommending Devilman Crybaby to somebody as their first anime. It'd
be like recommending Konosuba.
You feel like you're going to get judged a little bit, I feel, when they see all the glory of Trigger and the mature themes that this anime has.
I say that, but Gurren Lagann got a lot of people into anime.
There's so
like I don't know if the Trigger-ism is necessarily...
No.
Possibly.
I think the Trigger can be.
Dynex was.
I think the Trigger can be a positive. To be honest, I think people sometimes they like that zany stuff. On the Attack on Titan side of things, I think it's a bit more tame in terms of like its zaniness. Like it's not zany at all. It's got some jokes that don't really land in Attack on Titan. To be honest, its humor is kind of not great.
Doesn't work.
It's not what it's there for.
But you're not watching it for. But at the same time, pointing out negatives.
Like it's difficult to transition someone into like what someone would call anime. Like I mean, it is anime, but like you know what I mean. Like the anime sphere with like all the tropes it has and everything.
Yeah,
I'd say it would be harder to do that from Attack on Titan than from something that already has it and would kind of ease you into it.
I know what you mean. Like I think if somebody watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners and they're like, I'm fine with all of this, then of course, then they're fine with it. But I think if you were to take 100 people and sit them down and say, watch Attack on Titan, and take another 100 people and say, watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the people who enjoyed Cyberpunk Edgerunners, they're going to continue on longer. But I think more people are going to enjoy Attack on Titan.
But then they might just enjoy Attack on Titan and never watch anything else.
I mean, that's the risk with anything.
That's risk with anything, though. I think Cole kind of hit on it. I think I have a hard time recommending something quite as mature and niche as Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which is both a video game and quite anime. It's a little too anime for me, I think, for this case.
But I think the point of Edgerunners was to kind of ease people into it, because like it was meant as an adjacent to an already existing property. Yeah. That like I don't think 2077. I wouldn't have associated it with anime or the anime sphere before Edgerunners was announced.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, not a Japanese property, right?
The whole being released as an anime was. Yeah, kind of caught a lot of people off guard.
I would say that I feel like we've all kind of expressed the way we're going to vote on this.
Yeah, I think so.
At this point.
Yeah, I'm going, I think, Attack on Titan.
Mike?
I just think numbers don't lie. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jay, I'm also going to go Attack on Titan. Now, what's your vote?
Doesn't matter. Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Attack on Titan wins. Thank you for coming.
He's so spiteful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you for listening, though.
Yeah. I think it's fair though. Like Attack on Titan is a very good gateway anime. It got a lot of people into anime.
Yes.
Period. That's just the way the winds blew and the way the winds continue to blow. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend all about us. If you really like us, why don't you consider supporting us on Patreon like these lovely people? Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Cole Needs to Watch IQ or Canada is Doomed, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mog, Free Rent's Feet, and Antonio Bustos. By supporting us on Patreon, you get access to all sorts of perks, and it really helps out the show. We're also on social media at AniProPod, and please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Links to everything is at our website, AniProPod.com. It's also in the description, right there. See it? It's right there. Down.
It's right there.
Right
Go
down there.
Down.
You know what else is down there?
What?
That subscribe button.
The subscribe button.
Or
the like button.
The rate and review button. Yes.
Send
or
us
the follow
reviews.
button.
5 stars. Or
Just-
follow. Yeah. Subscribe. Yeah.
Just
Support us. Please.
send
We
me,
beg you.
Send me an email. I want an email. Somebody out there, send me an email. AniProPod. AniProPod.
You can go, the mailbag serves the same purpose.
At gmail.com. No, I just want fan letters. I just want fan mail.
Or DM or Instagram or Twitter. That works too.
So as we say, the end of every episode of the Anime Protagonist podcast or AniPro, if you want to be really, really cool like us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You didn't let me finish.
What are you doing? We're still rolling, Jay.
Oh, are we?
We're rolling.
Yeah, this is crucial content.
Okay, yeah. I guess this doesn't work on an audio medium, but you can just go to the website here and leave a mailbag. Put in whatever name you want. Make fun of Cole. It's fun.
Jay wants you all to make fun of me. That's
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
He's
that's
mad.
fair. That's
Yes.
fair. Yeah. That's fair. Okay, actually though, bye-bye.
For real though. This
Bye-bye.
time, bye-bye. AniProPod.com/mailbag.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
AniProPod.com/bye-bye.
Bye-bye.